what he did for himself. And I can see the results of it. So no matter what it is that you all want to do, you be the best that you can be. No matter what it is. Just be the best that you can be. You don't ever see me again. You remember these words.
That mean for you? That's an opportunity. You start a business in whatever, catering, event planning, or construction business, whatever type of business you are in. If there's a federal or state contract being given out, you have an opportunity to bid on it. You have an opportunity to win because of the fact that you're a minority business as an immigrant. You also, that counts too. You actually earn more points because you're an immigrant. It's important. Even because, so the criteria usually are immigrant-owned, women-owned, or black-owned in general. And so just think about it. You hit two of them, or just imagine a woman would hit all three. I mean, so it means that that would mean that they would look at you with a whole lot more emphasis, and they say, "Oh, yo, this is a good business." Now, it's important that you also be a business that actually performs. It's just not just being able to say that I'm a minority business. That's it in order to get the contract. No, obviously you got to have a track record of performing, and usually that gives you an advantage in winning these contracts. So in that space, I think there's opportunity in just in federal contracting in general. But I also I would like to encourage people to always do their research in specific fields. There's specific fields that just tend to seem to just not have many of us in. And you should do your research. And you can always call our agency if you're thinking of a business to start, and we can kind of give you some data. We are good at providing data. We can tell you, okay, how many businesses in this specific field is owned by black folks or owned by women, so you can kind of know how what your competition looks like. I can tell you that
I was going to work for them full time.
So a parole in place, or a military parole kind of scenario, is that what you have? Okay. So what that'll do is that'll entitle you to get a green card first, and then convert that to a citizenship thereafter. Okay.
Had I not trusted him, I would not be in the position that I'm in today. So that's why I shared that, and then he told me to put all of that in work. Taking care of business what family members need to know. All of that, my kids know. I prepaid on the plan, that baby knew, that will, all the baby knew. And my kids know everything that I have. I deal with Bank of America and Edward Jones. They know everything. All the numbers, everything, they know where everything is. As long as I'm in my right mind, they can't do anything in my head. But I go like that, they do not have time when they look at a box full of papers trying to find out this, that, and the other. No. I have everything cabinet organized. And they know that hospitals, everything. And when he told me to get the extra insurance on the house, when he died, all I had to do was call my insurance agent. He did all the paperwork, brought the check to my house. I went to the bank, paid the house off. New house paid. That I was obedient to what he told me to do. So
that's the real crux of what we're trying to accomplish. It's just another tool that's used for economic development. Like the title said about of this event was really about entrepreneurship. And a big component of entrepreneurship is economic development is entrepreneurship. When you think about it, the basis of any economy is people who start businesses and hire others, and be able to create economic activity in whatever city, municipality, or county they reside, and in your community, whether it be in the immigrant community or in the African American community. It's just important that we have viable businesses that are able to give people a livable wage, or whether they just create wealth in total. So that's pretty much what I call. Another project I'm working on is the African Chamber of Commerce. The idea behind this is really just kind of connecting African professionals together, because there are numerous of us here in this community, but we kind of work in silos and kind of on our own and quiet ends, doing big things.
For software developers that are on field in the St. Louis region. On a national scale, there are over 500,000 positions. So say that your son who's in software, is in programming, it's also growing at 17% every year. So the beautiful thing about it is that once you know how to program, you could do a lot with it. I have a 10-year-old who is already doing JavaScript. And the reason why I'm employing him to do that is because I'm looking at the future and I'm saying to myself, instead of him playing video game and playing video game, I said, you better know how do you build a video game yourself. I challenge him. He's already telling me I should buy him something for Christmas, a laptop. I said, no, I'm buying you the software that you learn how to build the computers yourself. Because I wanted him to start thinking about building instead of really start with what Shegun was talking about, which is entrepreneurship and empowerment. I want to say to you that one of the ways that Jeffrey and I met was I was on the board, advisory board for a group called St. Louis Mosaic. And what they were trying to do is to bring immigrant entrepreneurs that are doing well and put them together and say, okay, here are the people that are creating jobs in St. Louis. So one of the interesting things about this is that over 57%, almost 60% of all new companies that are created in America are created by immigrant entrepreneurs. So you should be very glad that you're an immigrant. Can you imagine 6 out of 10 companies that are created in America are created by immigrants? The largest employers, the big companies, the Fortune, the top 20 companies in America are created by immigrant entrepreneurs. Google is one of them. PayPal is another one. SpaceX is another one. The guy who came from South Africa, Elon Musk, is creating companies. He's also the guy who started Tesla. So the governments and economic development people like Shegun recognize that immigrant entrepreneurs are the key. So they are investing into immigrant entrepreneurs. So it's a great time for you as an immigrant to think about what you could do. What kind of problem can you solve? I'm sorry if you remind me of before. With that, you have to understand that nothing can stop you. The greatest enemy of anything to stop you is your own thinking. What you don't believe, you don't become. So if you believe that you want to do something, and irrespective of any racial issues in America, understand that you have the power to go beyond that. If a door closes, another one is bound to open.
Yes.
So I want you to think about the fact that there will always be racism in America. Aim for the good of the land, so you go get it. Mm-hmm. You don't let anything, whatsoever it might be a stumbling block to you. You have to have the biblical mindset that, see, I tell myself this thing, no one is better than me. You know why I say that? You know why I say that? Because my Bible says God is no respecter of person. God is no respecter of color. Anyone who does things right is equally approved of him. So I go about with that. I don't care who you are, whether you are a VP of this or you are the president. Hi, how are you, buddy?
What's that saying? They don't have two heads. Nigerians say.
Yeah, they don't have two heads. Nigerians in Nigeria, we always say Nigerians are aggressive. We go anywhere, like, who are you? Shut up. We're aggressive people. But that aggression has gotten us anywhere. Yes. We are like bulldozers. Anywhere we go, we just say, okay, like that. Okay, so what? Sit down there, I'm talking to you. Sit down. I'm the one in charge, not you. Sit down. So you have to have a self-worth of who you are. Yes. And then you can ask yourself, who am I? So I take my own life view from the Bible. The Bible says that my Father owns the cattle upon 1,000 hills. So if I'm talking to someone who doesn't know God, I am above you. I have access to the Almighty. What do you have? What do you have? You can do like this. Okay, we're all right. You live in a nice home. I live too, but I have access to the Almighty God. That is the success. That is the secret that I have. So I look at myself when we go to all these events or meeting some, you know, I'm a TED Fellow, I'm a Pulitzer winner, quite a number of things I have been involved in. But my whole secret of success is that you are not better than me because you carry one color. Color? Are you kidding me? Where have you been? What do you know? What do you really know? I have that mentality that because I have access to the best wisdom, which is in the Word, I'm above you. That's how I think. So if you have that God is on your side, which I love when you were sharing, then the Bible says, if God is for me, no one can be against me. And if you're against me, then I go to God and say, God, deal with me. I say, God, look at this fool. He's trying to mess me up. I say, God, look at this person. I go on my knees, I pray, I fast, and then they remove that person from the post. And I go, see, you're God. You're dealing with me. You're dealing with fire. So that confidence is how some of us have been able to go about. So then what is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is someone who saw an opportunity and is willing to pay the price to make that opportunity happen. You have to pay a price. It doesn't just happen, you know, one day or the other. I'll tell you before once we got into Time magazine, he stole the software. So all the savings that I have, you know, I poured in almost $35,000. Shoops, gone. And I didn't have any money left. I've left Bristol Myers Squibb. I'm on my own now. Then the people at home called me. They said, you haven't visited for a long time. Why don't you send cars? So I bought 4 cars. I sent to. I couldn't even get the principal back. When I sent the money to the cars to Nigeria. It was by force for me just to get the principal, not the profit. It's keep me out of money too. So I learned, but I still didn't give up. I still didn't give up. And I still kept going. Okay, let's go back. Then we go back again. But above all, I was able to pay my bill, thank God. I was able to do so many things. But from there, I started again. Then I started another one. And that one grew. And that's where I got my first break. But it was painful. It was painful learning. So one of the things Shegun also said about his doctor's book is that, and Jeff, was that you learn from what somebody else has gone through so that you don't repeat the same mistake and you can get over that in life, whereby the knowledge they've gone through and the experiences which they wrote in books. That's why I still force my own children who are teenagers, they're here, to read books. I get them, they get upset. If you don't read or you don't do something, they do well, they're A student. If you don't read certain books on great men, I'll turn off something on your phone so you don't have access to it. I do. So they say, oh, you are mean, you're such an evil man. I say, okay, it's okay. When you have sense, you will know. Right now, I don't have sense. What do you mean I don't have sense? I just hate it when you say that I don't know something. You don't know. When you are paying your own bills, that is when life begins to show you what you need to do. So that you need to read. Okay? Somebody said that I can see further because I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. That's how you learn. So those books that she was talking about, don't play with it. I mean, don't play with it. I still remember some of those things that I used to read in those days and how many of them have been a foundational truth to what we are doing today. Where do you find resources? In St. Louis. It's so disheartening that a lot of black people particularly read St. Louis American. They don't know what's going on. There is a ton of opportunities in this city. And a lot of people don't know. You say, oh, what's this? They go, I've never heard of it. You're like, what? How come you don't know this? They just don't know. We live in silos. And we need to stop living in silence. You need to find information. So in St. Louis alone, the Arch Grant started about 4 years ago. They have awarded over $5 million to companies all over the world to bring them to St. Louis, including mine. And the statistics then was like, I think they got application from almost over 1,000 companies from 14 countries. Then when I applied, now they're getting application from almost 50 countries to come. But even in St. Louis, there are what they call incubators, that if you have an idea, they will help you to develop it. Once you can get it to a stage, they will fund you to take it to the next level. And some of this money that they will even give you, they will give it to you as a grant, which means you don't pay on it. Now you're smiling. You don't pay on it. So I want you to broaden your vision beyond here and think about opportunities. I actually enjoy, sharing things with younger people. I'm not old. I look like I'm 30, but I'm not. I am a 16-year-old. But the beauty of what I'm saying to you is that, just like you, ma'am, I'm on the board of Network for Teaching Entrepreneurship with the founder of Build-A-Bear, and we go to schools and we go and speak about entrepreneurship. And I enjoy it. And I was invited to one event recently, early last year, which was set up by the Urban League. And so the Urban League set up this thing called a program called Save Our Sons program. And they have so many people come and speak there, including schools. And do you know that many of the people who came to speak were talking about trades? They were talking about forklifting. They were talking about welding. I didn't say it's bad. And almost everything was about using bra. Carry the forklift. No one talked about brains. So I got upset. They are staring, and I've heard it because my ex is an African American woman. She used to say when they were kids that in their school they used to just tell them to go and do things like being office desk person and things like that. Not to become a doctor. We from Africa, our parents drum into our heads since we were born. You engineer, you doctor, you nurse. So when we come to America and people find out, how come you from Africa? Some people even say, where did you come here? Oh, I said, long time ago. Because they're trying to size you how long you've been here. And why do you drive this kind of car? Why do you live in this area? They want to know what got you here. Because it's mind-boggling to them. How can you achieve this much? And what is it about you? The fact is the family structure that many of us come from is a great value. We have our dad, we have our mom, and they all work together and they say, hey, Jimmy, or in Jerry, don't change your course. Don't change your program from computer science.
I had to, man. When you can't turn the computer on, you got a problem.
You got a problem.
That's a big problem.
He quickly found his path. But that was because he had a foundation of what to do. And so, as children of immigrant families, you will never find children of immigrant families, in gang. I was speaking at a place recently where there were Asian kids at Parkway, and they were talking about why is that Asian kids are usually the top in the class in many schools. If you look at across America, when I was a professor at Roosevelt University in Chicago, the top group of students that are number one and number two and number three are the Asian and the African kids. When I say African kids, coming from Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, all of it. And they all have we have British system where it's all about tasks. They give you something to do, you go do it. It's a mentality and it's a culture. So the kids there, everybody, they get stuff done. And so they were asking, the question at that meeting was, how come Asian kids learn, they'll play violin, they're the one playing violin, they're the one, they're the one playing piano, he's the one doing math more than everybody. And the guys did shot too. And they're like, fuck up. And so the final analysis was two things: structure and process. The structure of the family. The father and the mother, they are on, just like African kids and men like you know how you raise your kids, they're on their head like this. They're like that. Then process. They steer them towards what will make them successful. So those two key things were responsible for their overall. And you know what? I do the same for my own kids. So when they ask me what is my opinion, I said, oh, I can talk about my 10-year-old. He's violin. I said he's also a blue belt taekwondo. Even though now he's playing his weekend, I let him play a video game. But he knows that at a certain time, once he's cut off, I take the video game. And then we have to read.
It is how you're carrying it that is going to break you. My grandfather one time told me that when somebody tells you no, it's not you, it just means you can't do it with him. But you still can do it with somebody else.
Somebody else.
That is the reason you can run, because you have no clue where you're coming. So what I'm saying today just means something very little for him. Something very small. Don't look for these big things. Things that you want to have your own business, you're talking about it. How much money do you have in your bank account today? Think from that perspective. Start very little. Grow from that perspective. Trust me, one way or the other, you will get there. One thing that I found in common between me and them is that there is another power that nobody else has that will come with. Mine is also founded from a woman called Melinda Gates. She made this very clear. She was asked one day, how come you're such a busy woman and every time we call your phone you're able to answer? Bill Gates cannot answer because he's very busy. Warren Buffett cannot answer because he's very busy, but she can answer it. And she's in Africa, she's all over the world. How do you do it? Yet you're such a successful woman. She said the secret to all these things is very simple. Simply fast.
Amen.
He said, ask Bill Gates why he's looking for that money. He has no idea why. The amount of money he has right now, he doesn't even know what he would do with it. Same to everybody, but ask me. If you gave me $10 today, now that's Melinda Gates, I know where to take it in Africa. If you gave me 300 million tomorrow, I know where to take it. And that is why, after they all do what they need to do, they bring the money to me and I donate it. Because I sought whoever owns the money first, and he revealed to me how to use the money. They don't know how the money should be used. I know. So seek those fundamentals first on how to do it. Have something that you believe in above all these businesses in your life, and it's gonna work out. But for today, don't worry about being Jerry or just something very small that we picked today. Go put it on the ground and work on it. My name is Sebastian, and I mainly tell people how to manage them.